Hello to all you Scorpios out there. This is your monthly horoscope for Scorpio for October of 2022. And yes, for some of you, happy birthday. And oh boy, if you have a birthday around the 25th of October. I say, oh boy, I'll tell you in a minute. It's a very eventful month. This month we have the eclipse. We have a solar eclipse in your sign. So all the spots on you. It's about Mercury going direct again, epiphanies happening, but it's about Mars going backwards, Jupiter going backwards, even in another sign. And so that's four topics that is a lot of eventful energy here. If you want to know more about one of these things in particular, you can check out already the videos that I made on my YouTube playlist. Mercury retrograde, Mars retrograde, and now next week I'm gonna make the eclipse video as well. But this is for those of you who want a little bit of an overview. Yes, it's general, but you have an overview of the beginning of the month, the end of the month, what's gonna happen here. It all starts with epiphanies, and you like that, don't you, dear Scorpios? It's an epiphany and an understanding around and about already the beginning of the month, which is the second third of the month. Now, this understanding happens in Virgo, which is nice energy for you. It's a sextile and it's in your 11th house. So the epiphany can come from an understanding of a friend or an association. Things are going forward. I really like Mercury in the 11th house going direct because it means a busy time. When you have your own business, it also means a lot of communication, a lot of networking, a lot of clients and a lot of money, or more, to say the least. It depends on your situation, of course, but these are general energies with Mercury going direct again in your 11th house. Also, things that become way more clear for you when it comes to your friends. So you are a Scorpio person, so with the sun there or the moon or the ascendant, but you Scorpios out there, you know that the truth is better than not knowing, even when the truth hurts, right? So there could be a situation with a friend that was a bit hurtful, but now you know the truth and you feel way more free because of that and transformed because of that. And so you have your plans for the future, your goals for the future, and that's the trigger for the rest of the month, basically, because your goal setting as well. Because Mars, which is your ancient ruler, goes backwards in Gemini at the very last day of the month, the 31st of October. Now, this is your 8th house. I've been talking about that. So it is very, very normal that when you have a different mindset, which is happening at the beginning of a month, that you are going to revisit your actions, right? And that is exactly what's happening. So you're gonna revisit how you're doing things when it comes to 8th house stuff, which is money that you share with other people, investments, all these things, you're going to redo them. Maybe there is an inheritance that is demanding your attention because you have to do things, you have to make things in order, and you're going to revisit that and doing that in a different way. Maybe it's you being interested in your own psychological deep stuff, that the fears and the shadows that you've been having. You have an opportunity here to dig deep and to understand yourself way better, which gives you power and strength when Mars goes direct again, which will be, so it starts at the end of October and Mars goes direct again, your ruler, around the midst of January. So all very interesting topics like life and death, rebirth, transformation, psychological understanding, all these topics, the occult, the metaphysical side of life, you are going to delve very deep into that. Sexuality as well, Mars in the 8th house, so you could be really viewing that in a different way. It's more intense, it's more, because it's not just the sexuality. It's the body, the mind, the soul, the merging of the two souls. So a relationship could be getting more intense, and you like that because you are a Scorpio. And of course, and Jupiter also at the end of the month, the planet of purpose, of expansion, of hope, At the 29th of October goes back into a fellow water sign, which is Pisces, which is nice for you because it tips in again into your 5th house, which is the heart house, the house of the heart, the house of love, the house of your children, the house of what you do when you want to enjoy yourself. That's also the 5th house, whether it is sports, sex, a hobby, whatever it is. And so Jupiter is really, specifically when you have planets around like 26, 27, 8, 9 degrees of Scorpio, this is a beautiful energy up until the end of the year where you have connection with your heart more than ever. So this could mean also dating and going back to something that occurred around May time of this year. So that could be the fact as well with Jupiter going retrograde there. Whatever it is, it's to improve that house, to improve your connection with a child, to improve your connection with your heart, basically. And to improve a love relationship as well. And talking about love, this solar eclipse is all about you. And especially, as I said, when you have your birthday around the 25th of October, or when you have like a moon or an ascendant at the first 5 degrees of Scorpio, you will feel it the most because around the 25th of October, but you will feel it the whole month, building up, that is. It belongs to the Saturn cycle 6 South, but I'll explain that in next week in a separate video about the energy of this cycle. But it's happening in your sign at 2 degrees with the sun there, the moon there at 2 degrees, and also Venus there at 2 degrees. So the ruler of your relationship is in your sign, and that is very, very beautiful. So this is a shedding of the skin. This is a rebirth for sure, but no rebirth before you have the death going on there. And of course, figuratively, there's a lot of you that dies here. Absolutely. And it's for good. It's for a good goal, which is your authenticity, your realness, it's meeting your shadow. It's so scorpionic, it's so interesting because it's so life-changing. So people are going to see this. They are going to say like, oh, Scorpio did change a lot, or this person, they evolved, and there's a lot of growth involved in here with shedding of this old skin. And of course, because it's in your sign, this is about your life path. This is about your key relationships, which is the one with yourself. Could also be with a significant other if you are in a relationship. But this is also your attitude, even if you're single, towards relationships, because you are doing relationships in a new way and you want to make it more real. That's where your North Node is in Taurus. And it's about an old way, how you were used to be. It's no working no longer for you anymore. And you know how Scorpios, they tend to stick to the old so long. And why is that? Why is that? It's very simple, because they invested so much. So even if you have invested so much in your own personality for years and years and years, whatever it is for you, maybe your personality of I'm a person without children, and now I'm going to have a child. Maybe for you this is a specific story. So I have to say goodbye to my old life of me not being a mom or a dad, into the new life of more responsibility and blah, blah, blah. So it's that kind of thing. Or maybe you had children for a long time and now they're all going out the house. They're all having their own lives, which is a good thing. But that's the death that you are feeling. And now you're going towards something new. So all these major shifts are happening. So this is, of course, your eclipse. And but it's an eclipse of more of a letting go here. So when the eclipses are happening with the North Node, like the moon there or the sun there, you can see those changes and those new things that you are going towards. So, but first it's about, I say we Scorpios because my ruler is in Scorpio as well, next to my Venus in Scorpio. Oh my goodness. I'm realizing this is happening very close to what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to go through similar energies here. But we Scorpios, we do know, or people who've got personal planets in Scorpios, we do know that. And we smile. We have a smile on my face when we hear people like, oh yes, I love change, yes. But when it comes, it's like, oh, it's so hard. Of course. And why? Because you have to say goodbye to the old identity. Right? If you say, I want to be a YouTuber, but you're working full time in a store, I mean, how are you going to make that work? You see, you have to leave the job. Maybe gradually or whatever. Of course, I'm not saying here you have to do stupid things like from one day to another. Of course not. But you get the drift? You get the drift? You understand what I'm talking about, don't you? Anyway, I'm saying to you, the best month ever for you. Absolutely. And let go. Let go of what is no longer you. Having said those wise words, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.